Get your play online. My name is Lauren, and it is Sunday, which means we have a bunch of fun live activities for you guys. So that's what I'm going to be doing with you today. We've already had a lot of fun live activities today, but right now we are going to make some tulips made out of some stuff you might find in your house maybe. Okay, so for this activity, what we'll need is little pieces of cardboard. You'll need one little piece of cardboard for every flower you want to do. So if you just want to do one, you can do one little one. You can do a big flower, a little flower, whatever you're feeling. And then I am going to be using some markers. So as always, you guys can choose any color that you want to. I'm going to use the black to outline my tulip when I draw it on the cardboard. And I'm going to use the green to color the stems, and then the rest of them I'm going to use for my flower colors. But you can certainly use any colors you want. And then I'll need a pencil too that I'm going to draw the tulip shape using a pencil on here first. And then we'll need some scissors, so be sure to ask a grown-up and make sure that they're okay with you using some scissors, or maybe ask for a little help. And then for the stems, I'm going to be using popsicle sticks. All right, I'm using the bigger ones, but the smaller ones will work too. And then for each flower that you want to do, you'll need some yarn. So you can see what I did with mine. So I've got these 3 colors of yarn. And again, if you just have one color, that's okay too. Alrighty. And then if you can see in my jar that I put these flowers in, I have some green tissue paper, which I thought made it look a little bit more like a bouquet. It's certainly not necessary, but if you wanted to present it like that, you certainly can. Okay, well, let's get going, guys. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a tulip shape on each of my pieces of cardboard. And tulips are cool because there's no one right way to do it. And they're going to turn out beautiful no matter what. Actually, I'm going to change this around just a little bit. And that's okay if you want to start over. That's why we're doing it in pencil. So what I'm doing is I'm starting with a little triangle there, just the top of the triangle, and then I am going to go little curves. So it looks like we've got a mountain in the middle, and then our hills on the sides. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in that side there, and I'm going to go woo. Okay, so there's my tulip shape. It almost looks like a pear, but that's okay. All right, and I'm going to do one more here, or 2 more actually. So I'm going to do my mountain. This one's a little hard because there's some, actually I'm going to do it on this side. So I'm going to do my mountain and my hills. And then I'm just going to bring this along the side, do a little curve. There's another tulip. And then I'm going to do my last one. A mountain, a hill, and another hill. And bring those down, go all the way. You can make your tulips as big or as small as you would like to. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline them in black marker, just so they're easy to see when we cut them out. I noticed when I'm drawing my when I'm drawing my tulips that they kind of look like pineapples. I'm wondering what you guys think. I don't know. To me, that kind of looks like a pineapple. Okay, so I've got all of them marked with my marker so that they're easy to see. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scissors and I'm going to cut all 3 of them out. And again, I'm doing 3 of these, but if you wanted to just do 1 at a time, you can certainly do that. So you can finish your first flower and then do the same thing for your next flower. However you want to follow along today will work just great. Okay, so there's that guy. I decided that I wanted to do a flower activity with you guys, just because I've been noticing so many flowers popping up outside, and I love seeing more and more flowers. I was actually walking through a garden the other day and I saw a bunch of different flowers, and I was thinking how cool it is that flowers are all so different. There are so many flowers that are different colors and different sizes. They've got different shapes, different smells. Some may even have like different parts of the year where they like to bloom. Some take a long time to bloom. Some take a short time. I don't know. It's just really cool that they're all super unique. Kind of like us as people, right? Okay, so now I'm going to take my scraps and I'm going to put them to the side because we don't need them unless you want to use them for something. So now I've got my 3 tulip shapes here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to color them. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my 3 colors that I want to make today. Now you don't have to color yours before you do the yarn wrapping like I did. You can see there's some purple in there. I just did because I thought it made them look a little bit more complete in their color, but you certainly don't have to. This is definitely optional. Go ahead and I'm going to color them. Now, just a warning, I got a bunch of markers on my hands when I did this. So just be careful if you don't want to get marker ink on your hands. You could maybe put on some plastic gloves if you have any, or you can just be extra careful. But hopefully you're using some washable markers like I am. and hopefully it'll wash right out. Okay, so I've got my purple one colored. Now I'm gonna do my blue one. I'm really happy with my color choices for my flowers. I really like these three colors. I think they look really pretty together too. Red, purple, and blue. I think my favorite is probably blue though. Maybe you're coloring your flower your favorite color. All right, there's my blue one. And now it's time for red. My red tulip is going to be little. Okay, and I did notice I'm getting some marker on my table here. And that's okay because I'm using washable marker, but maybe it would work better for you guys to put it on a paper plate or a piece of paper, something to protect the table a little bit. I did not do that this time, but that's okay. I'll just wipe it up when I'm all done. Okay, so I've got my 3 tulips here. They're all ready to go for the yarn. But real quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to put slits in between the 2 little downhills right here, okay? So we're just going to do a little slit, just like that. You can see, and that's just going to help hold our yarn in place when we're wrapping it. So I'm going to do it to the red one now. Okay, and now the blue one. Okay, I've got those in there. So now we're ready to go. I think I'm going to wrap my purple one first. So I'm going to grab my purple yarn. I'm not going to cut a specific amount right now. I'm just going to get a bunch of it ready to go, because we're going to need quite a bit to cover the entire tulip. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place my yarn with a little tail in the back. I'm going to place it through one of those slits, okay? Doesn't matter which one, then it's just stuck in there, and then this guy will just get wrapped around, so we don't even need to worry about cutting this one. All right. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap any which way. It doesn't totally matter. I like to change directions every so often so that I'm not wrapping in the same spot. I try to cover as much of the tulip as I can. Oops, it looks like I got a little knot in my yarn. Uh-oh. Okay, that's a little bit better. Some of these you might notice it's a little more tricky to do, like the top little hills and mountains on our tulip. And with this, you can go fast, you can go slow. You can really do this any way you want. There's no one right way to wrap the yarn. You can do a bunch of different X's. Okay, so I've got one, and I think that's looking pretty good. I think I've got plenty of yarn on there. Maybe just a couple more here. And then now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this over, flip my tulip over so I'm on the back side. You can, the back side is the one that you didn't color. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut a little piece here. I'm gonna cut this. So then I've got a little tail, and I'm just gonna tuck it in. Tuck it in. There we go. Okay, so we've got one tulip done. So I'm gonna set that aside. Now I'm gonna put my purple yarn away. Now I'm gonna do red. So I've got my red yarn. Okay. And I'm just gonna put my little tail through the slit here. There we go. Perfect. And then I'm just gonna do the same thing with this guy. You guys are doing an excellent job. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it, and I've got this little tail, and I'm actually gonna tie this one around this time. I'm gonna tie it just around any piece of yarn. This one might be kind of hard to do, and maybe a grown-up can help, but I just tied it around one of them and made a little knot around it. And then I'm gonna cut the tail. There we go. Okay, there's the red tulip. And then it's time to do the blue one now. So I've got my blue yarn. Put it through. There. Okay. Now it's time to get going on this one now. Got another knot. That's okay. We'll get it fixed. Sometimes working with yarn can be tricky because it does tend to knot up sometimes on us. There we go. Okay. All right, I'm thinking that my blue one is looking pretty good. So I'm gonna turn it over. I'm gonna cut the yarn. Then we're gonna find any piece of yarn here. I'm gonna pull it under. Now I'm just bring it about halfway, so it's halfway hanging there. And then we're just gonna tie a knot. And then just like that, it tightens perfect. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut the tail. Okay. All right, we've got all 3 of our flowers done, and now it's time to do the stems. So what I did with the stems, I don't have any green yarn. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna color them green, and I think that'll work just great. So I'm gonna color both sides of these. You can only color one if you want to, that's fine too. And they don't need to be perfect. Okay, and then the other side. Okay, and then this one. Another thing you could use for these are like pipe cleaners, if you have any of those. Maybe you could make some leaves out of the pipe cleaners. Whatever you have around your house that might work. I say give it a shot, give it a try, huh? All right, now I'm going to color this last one, and then we'll be ready to attach our stems to our tulips. All right, one more side. And again, I'm kind of getting some marker on my table. So maybe next time I'll remember to put down a paper plate or a piece of paper or something just to protect the table, but that's okay. All right, so I've got my stems all colored, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one flower. I'm going to use the purple one first, and I'm going to take my stem, and then in the back of my flower I am just going to stick the stem through some of the yarn back there, and it stays. It stays if your yarn is tight enough, it'll stay just like that. Okay, so there's one flower, and then I'm going to do the same thing with my red one. I'm going to stick the stem in there. Perfect, you guys. And then we'll stick it. Oh, this one's a little more tricky. Let's see, where's a good place to have it stick there. Okay. All right, and there's my blue one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mason jar, and I'm going to keep like 1 or 2 pieces of little tissue paper in the bottom, and then I'm going to put my flowers in. Put this up so you guys can see. Put my flowers in. They can go in any way you want. Let's see. There. I like that. And then I'm going to stick the other pieces of tissue paper in there. All right, and ta-da! We have our very own tulip bouquet, and I think we did a good job. I think they look really pretty. So thank you guys for joining me today on Get Your Play Online and learn how to make your very own tulip bouquet. I hope you learned something fun today. Maybe it gave you an idea to make something else with cardboard and yarn. You can make anything you want to. We just did tulips today because they're kind of all right, well, thanks for joining us, and be sure to check back here at Get to Play Online soon to check out all of our fun activities that are coming up. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.